You're ready for a comeback. And with Purdue Global, you can do more than take classes. You can take charge of your story, of your career, of your life. Earn a degree you can be proud of and get an education employers respect. It's time, your time, not just to go back to school, but to come back and move forward with Purdue Global, Purdue's online university for working adults. Start your comeback at purdueglobal.edu.
Where'd you get those shoes? Easy. They're from DSW. Because DSW has the exact right shoes for whatever you're into right now. You know, like the sneakers that make office hours feel like happy hour. The boots that turn grocery aisles into runways. And all the styles that show off the many sides of you, from daydreamer to multitasker and everything in between. Because you do it all in really great shoes. Find a shoe for every you at your DSW store or dsw.com.
This is an ad from BetterHelp. Unfortunately, humans don't come with an owner's manual. There are no simple instructions for what to do when you're feeling down, or having relationship problems or family conflict. That's when therapy can help. And BetterHelp is a convenient way to get started. It's 100% online, flexible, and surprisingly affordable. Connect with a licensed therapist by phone, video, or online chat at a time that works for you. Visit BetterHelp.com to learn more. That's BetterHelp.com.
The 2024 presidential election is here. MSNBC has the in-depth coverage and analysis you need. Our reporters are on the ground. Steve Kornacki is at the big board breaking down the races. Rachel Maddow and our Decision 2024 team will provide insight as results come in. And the next day, Morning Joe will give you perspective on what it all means for the future of our country. Watch coverage of the 2024 presidential election, Tuesday, November 5th on MSNBC.
Need to shake up mealtime? Gorton Seafood has you covered with the most satisfying and convenient crunch this side of the freezer aisle. Bite into the golden crunch of their popcorn, butterfly, and southern-style shrimp. Or mix up any main course from tacos to salads with their irresistibly crispy beer-battered fillets and classic fish sticks. When it comes to easy prep, restaurant-quality flavor without the hefty price tag, nothing beats the fresh-tasting seafood Gorton's has brought to the table for 175 years. Visit Gortons.com to learn more.
Hi everyone, it's Amanda Rieger Green. Welcome to Soul Sessions. We have an Aries full moon coming up on October 17th. The full moon is exact at 7:26 a.m. Eastern Time, and it's in 24 degrees of Aries. So that means the moon is in 24 degrees of Aries, and the sun is directly opposite at 24 degrees of Libra. Definitely do a little reconnaissance and see where that falls in your natal astrology chart so you can see what houses you are working with alongside of the Aries and Libra energy. And just a recap, you all know this, but a reminder, Aries is the pioneer, the initiator, the individual, and Libra is about relationship and partnership. So it is the I and the we. And this polarity is important right now for us because the north node of the moon is in Aries and the south node of the moon is in Libra. So as a collective, we are striving for our individuality, but we are also balancing that out in how we relate to other people. So a theme is interdependence. We are healing codependency or fierce independence. And I tell you what, I'm a Libra, you all know that, but I have learned how my codependence can show up and then my fierce independence can show up. And my fierce independence shows up in extreme self-reliance, and that's kind of hardwired into me from childhood. But hello, for goodness sakes, I'm a Libra sun and moon, so I'm here to learn through relationships and collaborate. So when I rely on myself, and whether that is shutting out God or shutting out my family or my friendships, however that pendulum falls, and just running the show myself, I get out of balance. And recognizing when that pendulum swings. And I remember, a friend of mine, like years ago, this is when we lived in Belize. She was visiting, and I was like, Dennis and I aren't codependent. We're very interdependent, and we truly are. We're both Libras, but we have a very interdependent relationship, and it's one of the things that I love. But we were out to eat somewhere, and I was like, oh, Dennis, can you pay for that? Oh, Dennis, do you have any cash? And she was like, my ass, you're not codependent. And she was making fun of me. And of course I was like, what? But I laughed because I was like, oh, I hadn't thought of that as codependency. And she wasn't being ugly or calling me out in that way, but thinking about how in relationship, the lines are blurred. And when we're married or we have family and siblings, coworkers, everything gets commingled. Energy does. If you remember recently, I was sharing about our auras and our energy field and the importance of bringing our aura in regularly and on the daily, because at any given time, and scientific studies have been done around the electromagnetic frequencies in our energy field, that our aura extends out like all throughout our house. And I'm using that just for scale in thinking how our aura can be way out there. And when you live with somebody, or you're sharing office space, or you're in the coffee line grabbing coffee, think about how many people get up in your auric grill getting coffee, or out to dinner, or freaking at a music festival. And for all of you empaths out there, and we're all empathic, but like some of us are more fine-tuned and can feel frequencies. I know for me today, when I am out in public and around crowds, it's important for me to pull my energy in and cleanse and clear it, so I can also feel what I'm feeling and sensing and trusting my intuition in a crowd, my security, my safety, my light, my joy, my heaviness, whatever is coming through. But we are commingling our frequencies all the time. But especially in our home environment, if you live with somebody, even our pets, right? We are always kind of entangled in energetic frequencies. So that's important. And I'm bringing this up around this moon because this full moon has some beautiful opportunity for strengthening our own independence and our own voice. And with Aries energy is fiery, it's quick, it can be reactive, defensive, aggressive, but it's instinctual. And at its primal core, it is fire. It is like the divine, it's prana, it's chi. It's life force initiator energy. That's magical stuff. That is like our spark of vitality, that primal instinct with us. And it's this will to thrive, will to live, not just survive, because Aries can be instinctual, but it can be very much in survival mode. But think about your will to thrive, your vitality. And when you think about yourself in relationship, and I've shared this before, but I'm going to reiterate it, which relationships, where do you feel a sense of synergistic vitality, where you're thriving and passionate versus depleted? And of course, it's the Halloween season, so we'll say, watch out for the energy vampires. Do they want to suck your blood, your life force energy? That stuff is legit. And I know how sensitive we all are. So really pay attention to your vitality around this moon, because it is a feisty moon. Another thing of note to share with you all is Chiron, the wounded healer, which is an asteroid that orbits between Uranus and Saturn. Chiron is in Aries as well, and Chiron is about at 21 degrees of Aries, so it's in about a 3-degree orb of conjunction with the moon at the time of the full moon, so it's about 3 degrees away from where the moon will be. And of course, the moon, makes its orbit, it touches all the zodiac signs in a month, so Chiron and the moon come together once a month. This is not an unusual occurrence, but what is personifying that energy and that Aries energy and really rooting out the self-doubt, the fear, is Chiron's close proximity to the moon and the opposition to the sun. So with the wound of Chiron, and Chiron is called the wounded healer because what Chiron, the centaur, is teaching us in the mythology is it is through our wounds, our deepest pains, our deepest suffering and wounds, that if we can dig in and heal, we can take those wounds and we can not only begin to heal ourselves, but then be able to authentically connect and heal others or share our healing with others. So there's something very transformative about this moon, and it's not an eclipse. It is a supermoon, but it's a very potent moon. The full moon is on the 17th, but the sun will be in Libra for a few more days after that before it moves into intense Scorpio energy. So I would say between now and when the sun moves into Libra, pay attention to your self-doubt. And deeper than that, the best practice I can offer that I have already started to dig into myself, dig into the wounds down there, is doing a fear inventory, meaning sitting down and writing out your fears. And this is not for you to share with anybody else, even the most absurd fears. Like if you have a recurring fear that comes up, if you're afraid of water, if you are afraid to go out on a walk by yourself and feel like you're always looking over your shoulder. I mean, I know people with those fears that feel like they're from lifetimes ago, like there's nothing significant that happened that impacted that. Or maybe you've been burglarized and, you're hyper vigilant and yes, you're being mindful and safe, but there's fear around that. Or, what fears? Write out your fears, big and small, and take a little bit of time just to take your temperature around your fear today. And in this time frame, in this window of time, and Pluto is also still, it's stationed direct, but it is standing still at 29 degrees of Capricorn. And as I've shared before, at 29 degrees of Capricorn, the anaretic degree, it's very poignant. Pluto is transformative, and Capricorn is about leadership and power and destiny and legacy, but it's also around top-down rulership. I would say reigns of terror, So if we are reclaiming our sovereignty as humanity, as individuals, it's power to the people, before Pluto goes into Aquarius for the next 20 years, which is about revolution of the people. But it's really about how can we make an impact? It's in our own health, our own wellness, and our own well-being. So outlining your fears in this time frame will be not only just a great exercise, it's energetically aligned with the numerology of the 9. And if you haven't listened to that podcast, I talk about the numerology of the 9 because October is a 9-month in an 8-year, but 2025 is a 9-year. And the 9 is about a lot of surrender, a lot of letting go and healing. So using the energies at your fingertips, this full moon will be helpful also as you enter into Scorpio season, as we all enter into Scorpio season, which is about penetrating the darkness and alchemizing that into light. So it's just a beautiful time, I think, to take a fear inventory. And one of the things that, when I think about an Aries full moon, because it's sassy and vibrant and spirited, it also can really exacerbate our selfishness and our self-centeredness. So when I talk about taking a fear inventory and a hard look at, and a hard and a loving. So a hard and a soft look at your fears. So not with judgment, just getting it out on paper. maybe also see, like, where am I selfish? Where am I self-centered? Where do I have self-centered fear? Or where am I in extreme, like, self-will? And that speaks to Pluto and Capricorn. What power struggles am I just still gnawing on that I haven't given to my higher power or given to God? That is really the focus of this full moon. And because it's a fiery moon, and you got the sun in an air sign and the moon in a fire sign, and if you add oxygen to a flame, right, it can blow things up. So if you feel aggressive or reactive, take a few moments, pause when agitated, take a few breaths if you can before reacting, and see if you can respond. So really see if you can utilize your breath. And I know what is really helpful for me and has been of late, noticing the rhythms of my breath in different circumstances. When my breath is natural and rhythmic, or if it's relaxed and deep, or if it is very shallow. I will notice when I get into a shallow breath, the cadence of my voice changes, my body language changes, my energy does. And that shows me when I move more into a fight or flight, reactive kind of mode versus moving from a place of equilibrium. And after all, that's what Libra is calling us into equilibrium. And Aries is saying, where are the kinks in the hose? Where are you out of whack? Where are you in fight or flight? So pay attention, food for thought. And because it is a fire moon, I love to use fire. So it's a great pyro moon. Don't burn anything down, but it's a great moon if you are writing out your fear inventory. If you want to write out your intentions and burn them, be careful, use your maturity and your own sense of responsibility around that. But also light a candle or burn some incense or sage or Palo Santo, just to create that fire and the smoke, to cultivate the energy. So do something maybe for yourself on or around the 17th that is ritualistic, and use a little fire power, like get your own spark going. So definitely check out, if you haven't, the 9 numerology podcast, because it's got a lot of good food for thought and insight as we prepare for 2025. But it's definitely applicable for this month when it comes to surrender. And I have been feeling that and recognizing where I am struggling and in a power struggle and in self-will, and not like wanting to solve it my way versus truly giving it to the divine, giving it to spirit. And once I recognize those things, then it's just a matter of my openness and willingness to be ready to relinquish that to something more infinite. And I think that's what we're all being called to do in order. The paradox of it is to create this greater sense of sovereignty. And it takes courage. It takes courage. And this is a courageous moon. So everybody, be true to yourself, be courageous, and be well. Thank you for joining me. Thank you so much for listening to Soul Sessions. If you've got questions, do not hesitate to reach out. Email us, podcast@soulsessions.me. If you love this podcast and you want to hear more, make sure you're following it, liking and subscribing, and sharing it with other people. Send this energy out. Share it with other people. Remember, you can always get your dose of Soul Sessions. New episodes drop on Wednesdays. You can also follow me on Instagram, TikTok. It's @soulpathology, or check out soulpathology.com. I appreciate you and your light. Thanks for listening.
One in 3 women and 1 in 4 men experience domestic abuse in their lifetime, and nearly half of survivors delay leaving because they can't bring their pets with them. Purina started the Purple Leash Project to help eliminate one of the many barriers domestic abuse survivors face: a lack of pet-friendly domestic violence shelters. Through the Purple Leash Project, Purina is helping to create more pet-friendly domestic violence shelters across the country, so abuse survivors and their pets can escape and heal together. Visit Purina.com/purple to get involved.
Does money stress you out? Let Facet flip your financial chaos into clarity.
We feel way more confident and secure in our finances, and with that comes a sense of freedom.
Financial planning from Facet is here to help you improve your life today, tomorrow, and every day after that.
Facet was really the place where we saw all of the tools and the people coming together.
Visit Facet.com, FACET.com to learn more. This ad is sponsored by Facet. Facet Wealth is an SEC registered investment advisor. This is not an offer to buy or sell securities, nor is it investment, legal, or tax advice. These testimonials are from current Facet members who are not compensated. All opinions are their own and not a guarantee of a similar outcome.
Need to shake up mealtime? Gorton Seafood has you covered with the most satisfying and convenient crunch this side of the freezer aisle. Bite into the golden crunch of their popcorn, butterfly, and southern-style shrimp. Or mix up any main course from tacos to salads with their irresistibly crispy beer-battered fillets and classic fish sticks. When it comes to easy prep, restaurant-quality flavor without the hefty price tag, nothing beats the fresh-tasting seafood Gorton's has brought to the table for 175 years. Visit Gortons.com to learn more.
The iHeartRadio Music Festival was a blast, and Hyundai's EV lineup was there for every moment. In Vegas, Hyundai took VIPs to the Speedway to test drive the 601 horsepower Ioniq 5N. On Friday, the EV Sessions winner was announced, Hyundai's music contest on TikTok. The twist? Their performances were all powered by the all-electric Hyundai Ioniq 5. How cool is that? And after the show, fans got to check out the Hyundai dance floor at House of Music. Thanks again to Hyundai's amazing EV lineup. Learn more at HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603.
Good sleep should come naturally, and with the new Natural Hybrid mattress, it can. A collaboration between Lisa and West Elm, the Natural Hybrid is expertly crafted from natural latex, natural wool, and certified safe foams to elevate your sleep sanctuary and support a greener tomorrow. Breathable organic cotton and moisture-wicking Joma wool consistently provide cool and comfortable slumber. Every purchase helps fuel Lisa's work with shelters and those in need. Visit lisa.com to learn more. That's LEESA.com.